What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sound any chance I get. And today we are going to be talking about the nominations for the 67th Grammy Awards. We are less than a week away from music's biggest night, or America's biggest night of music. And now I am finally going to sit down and talk about the nominees in all four general categories, that being Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best New Artist, and Album of the Year. I gotta say, it kind of sucks that I didn't get too much of an opportunity to talk about the great music that came out in 2024, but now I get to sit back and actually make up for that lost time by focusing on all these nominees. Because let me tell you, the music actually kicked ass in 2024. A lot of unfortunate stuff happened that year, but at least the music was there to lift up our spirits. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about all the wonderful artists, both new and old, who came together to bring us some excellent music throughout the year, and whether they could bag some Grammys. And also be sure to stick around, because I have an important word to talk about towards the end of the video regarding the LA wildfires. I know it's been devastating Southern California to an enormous degree, and I think I want to use this video as a chance to get the word out, to promote some charities or some donation links, because Lord knows they could use all the help they get. But for now, why don't we just have some fun with each other? So sit back, relax, as I talk about the nominees for the 67th Grammy Awards. The first category we're going to be talking about is Song of the Year, which normally goes to the lyricist and composer. So let's see what sort of nominees are going to be duking it out for this category. When you take a close look at the lyrics, it's not a shock why a bar song, Tipsy, caught on so rapidly. It's a straightforward anthem for those who bust their balls trying to get through the week under excruciating work conditions and have a glass and shot of whiskey waiting for them at the end of the day. You sense the feeling that people are dancing and laughing their stress away, enjoying the festive atmosphere of the evening air as they guzzle their liquor. The party ramps up for Shabuzi and his pals night after night, with the crowd growing bigger every time. He strums away at his guitar, which helps bring people together, and the fiddler captures the feeling of a party as they play after each chorus. The way the song touched a nerve so simple yet so relatable is what makes it a strong contender for Song of the Year. I'm pretty delighted by Birds of a Feather, because it's perhaps the happiest song from Billie Eilish to ever reach this level of mainstream success. It's a love song sung by the young pop star, where she rejoices feeling the love from her partner. In fact, in the second verse, she urges her to admit that the relationship is full of hooey and call it quits, but she refuses to do so. Billie is so deeply connected to this girl that she declares they will be with each other in the afterlife, and she doesn't even want to be saved from death because she knows she'll see her again once their souls have moved on. Those are some very big words, but it's just fascinating to hear Billie sing about her assured love and how she can interpolate her unsettling lyrics in a song that's so heartfelt in its presentation. That I can expect the Academy to hop on board with. There's a lot of beauty to find in Die With a Smile. It has a simple premise where the two singers vow to love each other with endless passion until the earth sees its expiration date. They make this promise after Bruno wakes up from a dream where the two of them parted. The lyrics are straightforward once you really analyze them, but what makes Die With a Smile hits is the spirit the two singers belt them with. You really get the sense that Bruno and Gaga are two passionate lovers looking to appreciate each other with every passing day. It seems that Lady Gaga's voyage into acting really paid off for her. Perhaps the most special detail is in the first verse, where Bruno sings about surviving his bad dream, as if it was putting him in literal danger. You know his heart would have been aching if this happened to him in real life. Considering how much the Academy loves these two veterans, they might be giving an acceptance speech together. I actually sort of dig the angle Fortnite takes in terms of lyrics. Taylor sets up this premise where she finds her ex-boyfriend moving on from a short but meaningful connection they made. She develops unhealthy habits like drinking alcohol and jumping into new relationships as if they were drugs. She even becomes vengeful towards the man when she notices him with a new woman and wants to murder her, SZA style. We've seen Taylor play with violent imagery before, but that was more in an ironic sense. These lines portray her as melancholy and even somewhat pathetic. Post Malone's lines offer some great insight too. He sings about how he can start a new life for himself in a new state, but he can't escape the feelings he has for his past lover. These lines do a really good job at illustrating the complications you can feel when a romance has fizzled out, even when it was brief. Surely the Academy will find this sort of material quite interesting. Good Luck Babe has one of the funniest set of lyrics heard on pop radio all year. The premise shows two female lovers sharing an intimate relationship with each other, but the woman Chaperone is singing to keeps ignoring her true feelings. And Chapel teases her, in a bitter kind of way, that deep down she identifies as queer. The girl tries to move on, but Chapel vows that she'll regret this day because as much as she tries to avoid admitting her true self, it's just pure denial. When she sings on the bridge about her becoming a man's wife, she almost sings it with horror, as if it's the worst kind of fate she could meet. As stated before, the lyrics in Good Luck Babe are delivered a bit furiously, but Chaperone also sings them with a smirk and a raised eyebrow, because she knows that her ex-girlfriend will eventually realize the big mistake she made, and she gets to live out her life with that thought remaining in her brain. It's this type of gay savagery that the Recording Academy just might reward. The Grammys would have been crazy to ignore Not Like Us in the general field. There was no other rap song in 2024 that took the music landscape by storm. And it's all because of who Kendrick Lamar targets specifically. The feud between him and Drake was probably the biggest music story of the year. And while the two men had their back and forths, it all came to a head when Kendrick dropped this nuke of a diss track. There are so many deep cuts Kendrick makes against Drake, it would take me forever to meticulously analyze each one. But it's epic how he goes after Drake's creepy behavior towards young girls, how foolish his record label is, and how he had to rely on rappers like Lil Baby, Young Thug, and Quavo to give him street cred. Hell, most of these dudes became popular after Drake hit it big. This track is impressive for just how much it obliterates the empire of a once respected rapper, and considering how much Drake has beefed with the Grammys, they may be inclined to reward Kendrick. After the success of Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter kept the train moving along with the slower Please Please Please. This song is a plea to her boyfriend Barry Keoghan for him to not make any dumb moves in public while they're together. What's so enjoyable about this song is just how lighthearted she made the content. Like when she said he should stay inside and watch the ceiling fan, or how she excuses his antics by mentioning he's from a different country, and how she doesn't want to cry because her makeup is too good to mess up. Both the title and the delivery showcase a ton of earnesty, and it's very funny how these lines contrast with the slower tempo and country pop sound. Perhaps the Grammys will click with her comedy in this ceremony. Texas Hold'em is certainly one of the most charming tracks in this category. It was the song that established her country era, and boy, did it start off with a bang. The single is not too complicated. Beyonce entices a boy into dancing with her at the bar, trying to see if he has the gumption to put the moves on her. There are so many problems she's dealing with in her life, but this is the night where she gets to let loose, forget whatever stress is going on with her. One detail zoning in on is when she tells the listener on the chorus to park their Lexus and come dancing with her. It's like she's encouraging them to abandon city life for a little while, so they can enjoy a more simplistic setting for partying. Considering how well it introduced Cowboy Carter to the world, I'm expecting it to be a serious player in the Song of the Year category. So now that we're all set with Song of the Year, it's time to move on to Record of the Year, which is always awarded to the mixer, the producer, and the actual artist. That's an important distinction between a Song of the Year and Record of the Year. I know people always mess that up, but I'm here to explain it once more. You're welcome. But yeah, we got 8 nominees in this category, just like the last one. So let's delve in and see what each of these songs have to offer. It's not hard to imagine Now and Then hitting people right in the gut. It's a song that started production all the way back in the 1970s, but wasn't completed until just this past year. John and Paul sing about how they're facing the end, but if they were to cross paths ever again, they'll make a promise to love each other even stronger than before. You can tell that the song is about the band members going their separate ways and giving each other a tearful goodbye. It carries a real somber, bittersweet mood, and you can even detect sadness in John Lennon's voice. It's almost funny that we're starting off with a song from the Beatles, because I think we already know who the Academy is going to be awarding in this category. Beyonce hasn't even been a country star for a year, yet Texas Hold'em sounds about as authentic as country can get. The track opens with a simple acoustic guitar, then builds up to a stomping jamboree, complete with fiddles and banjos, perfect for a hoedown. You can actually imagine the patrons at the bar square dancing with each other as Beyonce and her band get the crowd going. Of course, when she belts her heart out, you can hear the soul leave her body and spread throughout the audience, bringing about an enchanting excitement. To ease us down is a dusty piano, joining the fiddler and a touch of whistling. I don't play many card games, but I would gamble my money on Beyonce winning the award for this track. There's a real case to be made that Espresso was the unadulterated summer hit of 2024. You can't go wrong with modern disco, because it knows how to provide celebration. While it's fair to compare it to Doja Cat's Say So, I feel Sabrina Carpenter adds her own elements. Its atmosphere is so boiling you can feel the sun beating down on your skin as your soft-served waffle cone turns to putty. Sabrina's breathy delivery of each line creates real intimacy for the listener to sink into. Coupled with a slick bass line, joyous synths, and jumpy electric guitars, it makes for a perfect coffee-flavored recipe, one that the Academy might just slurp up. 360 is a special kind of pop song because it feels like a victory lap for an artist who's served as an influence to many creatives in the music industry. Charli XCX captures that feeling of success with a jumpy electro pop beat, constructing a flashy setting as if Charli is walking down the red carpet, embracing the cameras. She showcases an ultra-confident persona as she thanks the producers and celebrities that helped her reach the pinnacle of her career. It offers so much enjoyment and assurance for the listener, and I expect that to be this track's strength when the Academy members send in their votes. Birds of a Feather is perhaps the most calming song to be nominated in this category this year. It's not every day that Billie Eilish releases a song that captures her romantic side. Her and Phineas picked the most perfect instruments to illustrate her feelings. Using a fortifying guitar, sedative drums, and glossy keyboards, the two stars create a blissful sound where two lovers can relax and revel in each other's company, as if it feels like they are being whisked away by a cloud in the evening sky. Giving us the perfect climax is the synthesizer in the final 40 seconds, almost sounding like a theremin, making the tune feel like we're on a cosmic ride. And the cloud has finally landed us on Earth once again. The Grammys are huge suckers for Billie and Phineas' musical sound, and this might be another chance for them to show their admiration. Seeing Not Like Us nominated in 2 of the general categories is slightly surprising. Given how much people enjoy the disses Kendrick makes towards Drake, you would expect them to mostly admire the lyrics. But the beat and delivery are still very key components. The track pulls you in with its brass section featuring trumpets and saxophones, as well as its drum line, initially giving the song an authentic feel, but then it cuts immediately into a vibrating trap beat. This is persistent as Kendrick hits Drake with blow after blow after blow. What's also killer is how the melody cuts out in the third verse so listeners can focus on Kendrick's point about Atlanta, dishing Drake the ultimate punch. This beat is already so iconic, you can even catch them playing an organ rendition of it at sporting events. Like every time I turn on the NHL game, it's there. While the Academy tends to do rap dirty, Not Like Us is too big to count out. Chaperone continued her extravagant 80s tunes with the summer smash, Good Luck Babe. You instantly get swept up when those jumpy synth keyboards start playing and the soft drum and cymbals join in. Her singing almost feels like she's being lost in the pleasure of recounting this old flame who left her because she rejected her true feelings. What captures the ear easiest is the falsetto she sings in throughout the chorus. To make up the climax are the hard-pounding drums and escalating violins when Chaperone finally rubs in the fact that she knew all along how her ex truly felt. Like she sings I Told You So with such joy and vindication. This song could easily impress voters just by recapturing an old era of music, and doing it so well. I don't think many people expected quite a team-up such as Fortnite. The track gives a real intimate, yet somber tone as Taylor watches her ex move on with another woman. Posty offers soothing vocals for this synth-pop tune, and is able to match Taylor's heartbroken demeanor. It doesn't exactly build up to a climax or have some awe-inspiring payoff. It allows us to sink into the sorrow, which is a fine move, honestly. I'm a bit wary, though, on whether this will sway the Grammys into voting for Fortnite, since they are probably looking for something more impressive on a technical level. Don't get me wrong, a Taylor Swift song is always a strong contender, but I have my doubts that this one will end up on top. Okay, so we officially got through Record of the Year. A lot of interesting takes I had there. And now we're going to move on to Best New Artist. Of course, this is always the category where the Grammys recognize a fresh performer, hot on the scene, who is making a name for themselves for the first time, and they're going to honor who they think has done it the best. So, we got our 8 nominees over here, so let's get into them. Benson Boone has some amazing potential as an up-and-coming rock vocalist. Sure, it can be argued that Beautiful Things was a bit of a grating song in 2024, but even that shows how much effort and heart the boy puts into his craft. He knows how to let his voice rise to perfect high pitches, even during his live events. In fact, I would say his follow-up hit Slow It Down shows the gift he possesses even better. The story he tells of connecting with a girl who feels lost while he himself struggles with his own path is something to truly admire, melting your heart as the production escalates and his own voice builds up to a beautiful falsetto. Benson has ambition, and that's always an important quality for an artist to have, and perhaps the Recording Academy will see that too. Sabrina Carpenter's nomination is obviously a contentious one, since she has been a well-known musician for several years now. I don't think the Grammys have put an already established artist in this category since Ed Sheeran. Of course, this is her first year achieving top 40 success and really letting the public know what type of performer she is. However, I can see why people might be up in arms about her inclusion here. I wouldn't expect her to snag the trophy though. I'm not going to pretend the Grammys don't have a hindered sense of integrity, but surely I would expect them to respect the rules of this category. Besides, they have several other categories to recognize Sabrina in. They can award her humorous, coffee-brewing, sassy style of pop somewhere else. We'll just have to see what happens on February 2nd. When I first discovered Doechii, I may have started off with the wrong song. I chose to listen to What It Is, which has a feature from Kodak Black, a rapper I have very unfavorable opinions on. But after digging more into her discography, I realized Doechii is really versatile. While she does perform as an R&B singer, she also records her own rap songs. Plenty of her songs take pride in the journey she's taken to become a household name, flexing her jewelry, her popularity, and her ability to crush anyone who steps up to her. A personal highlight is Denial is a River, where she pretends to be interviewed by Wendy Williams as she reflects on her boyfriend cheating on her, building success, and embracing the Hollywood spirit. Doechii has plenty of talent to offer, and honestly, the Grammys could use more rap winners in the general field. Khruangbin is the only nominee and Best New Artist that I hadn't heard of prior to this video. However, I can say after listening to some of their work that I'm very impressed by it. Some of their tunes can be very relaxing, almost like you're just basking in the light summer breeze. Hell, I could probably take a nice cruise to their music in my car. It's very surprising how they don't rely on too many lyrics and just use their instruments to create a vibe. Their willingness to blend several different genres together, like psychedelic and beach rock, is also fascinating. It will be interesting for the Grammys to award something more chill, although given their small popularity, I wouldn't necessarily count on it. I remember being so outraged when Ray wasn't nominated in the Grammys last year. Like, I was ready to fight people. Her top 40 smash, Escapism, is a track that I didn't even know could exist. It's a song where she sings and raps about relapsing into nasty habits and letting it consume her during a messy night of partying. That's before you get into some of the other songs on her album, where she sings about moving past a phony lover and making herself feel powerful after the fact. It's genuinely astonishing how she could bridge soul with hip-hop. Luckily, the Grammys are properly recognizing her this year, and maybe her talent for R&B will score her some gold. No other pop star has been as meteoric this year as Chappell Roan. Listeners were fascinated by her drag-inspired aesthetic and her fierce synth anthems singing about queer love and culture. She offered music fans plenty of fun throughout the summer, and a space for them to open up and express themselves. It's clear that her music has connected with an unfathomable number of people, given the sort of crowds she can draw at music festivals. The song that stands out to me the most from her album is Naked in Manhattan, which showcases her talent for pop and eagerness to explore sexual themes. If the Grammys want to vote for someone who is making music history at this exact moment, they might want to go for this princess. Shaboozey is the only country singer this year to be nominated in Best New Artist, but this is a rare occasion where the new country artist in question being recognized actually took the country by storm. Many of his songs on his latest record have lyrics about the struggles he's going through in his life, especially heartbreak, but several of them provide hope in the face of agony. Let It Burn is especially an extraordinarily uplifting anthem. The build-up this song gives is some of the best I've heard in country music all year. When it goes into detail about the protagonist's difficult journey, even revealing they were homeless, it's something that can pull at your heartstrings. Both this song and a bar song should be enough to convince the Academy he should win the award. Teddy Swims might have had the biggest Billboard hit of the year with Lose Control, but I don't think there's been enough talk about how legitimately great his latest LP is. That man has a serious talent for R&B, and can display sentiment on a record like it's not even difficult. Hearing Some Things I'll Never Know on the train for the first time felt like a truly special moment. I was just astonished by how Teddy could show heartbreak and how it leaves him thinking nonstop. I was pleased to find him score an actual hit with Lose Control, which allows him to lay into his bluesy side and show off a strong set of vocals. I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 1 contains so many other great soulful tracks, incorporating love and tragedy. But I'm anxious to see if the Grammys will share the same giddiness as me. So, with Best New Artist out of the way, it's time to move on to the fourth and final category in the general field, Album of the Year. This is the big one, or at least what I consider to be the big one. It's the ultimate prize on Grammy night. We got 8 contenders right over here on either side of me, so why not just cut the chit chat and delve right into them. We start off with New Blue Sun by Andre 3000, which is probably one of the oddest nominees we've had in quite some time. Going into this record, I did not expect each track to be fully instrumental. I knew I was in for a unique experience given the lengthy song titles, but this really piqued my interest. Honestly, I'm quite thankful because I didn't have any lyrical content to examine, making this video easier for me to write. The true star of this record is the actual music, which is just immaculate in the way it sounds. The album is very relaxed and tranquil, putting you at ease and calming your nerves. But what's also intriguing is what sort of instruments he uses to soften the listener. Throughout the record, Andre relies on chimes, cymbals, keyboards, and woodwinds, just to name a few, to send the audience into a plane of serenity. You can even hear breathing noises as the music plays, as if the man is practicing yoga in his den. Admittedly, this sort of project from him doesn't totally surprise me, given how passionate he's been about music throughout his other artistic works. After all, that's what Class of 3000 was all about. 2000's classic, baby. This would be an unusual choice for the Grammys, but when you take into account how much they've enjoyed Andre 3000 in the past, I wouldn't count out a win for him. I remember there being a ton of shock at the announcement of Cowboy Carter, since it was Beyonce's foray into country music. But it shouldn't be totally surprising given how much she experimented with EDM on Renaissance. It also didn't jolt anyone that she pulled it off masterfully. Beyonce uses country music to reflect on her roots as a Houston woman, including her tough childhood, her struggle to keep her marriage sturdy, and her role as a guiding mother. In terms of music, she knows how to bring her angelic demeanor to such a southern sound. At the same time, she's able to bring a tough attitude as if she were a western cowboy, and it's backed by acoustic guitars, soulful backing vocalists, and plenty of stomping and clapping. She's capable of bending the genre with elements of her own, such as hip-hop compositions. The songs are perfect for when you want to dance at the bar or chill with your lover. It's also incredible how she earns the stamp of approval from legendary country singers while also working with younger ones. After we saw 2023 become such a divisive year for country music, it was pleasing for Beyonce to breathe some fresh life into the genre with this project. For that, I would say she's worthy of an Album of the Year award. Even though she's been writing pop music for many years, Sabrina Carpenter saw her first breakthrough into top 40 with Short and Sweet. It's quite astonishing how well she's been able to stand out amongst her peers. This might have to do with how much humor and playfulness she's able to infuse within her tunes. Her days as a Disney Channel star must have paid off when it came to producing music. It's frankly eye-opening what sort of explicit lines she puts on the record, like how her man gets off to Leonard Cohen, or how she wants to end up like Juno. But that doesn't mean it's nothing but a jamboree. Sabrina, at moments, sings about the betrayal she feels in her relationships and how much strain that puts on her. More than anything, Short and Sweet displays how uniquely Sabrina can lay out her emotions for the listener, regardless of what tone she's aiming for. Furthermore, I'm impressed by how Sabrina can infuse different genres for this record, experimenting with country and disco. It really feels like Sabrina has officially carved out her own identity, and it will be gratifying if the Grammys reward that. Brat has to be one of the more fascinating entries in this category, because it's an example of how the hype surrounding a certain project can propel it onto the radar of award season. Artists like Taylor, Billie, and Beyonce have already been heavily decorated by the Recording Academy. But prior to this ceremony, Charli XCX only had 2 nominations in her career, those being for her feature on Fancy. It really shows you just how far she's come. It was thanks to the Brat Summer meme and the endorsement for Kamala Harris that her album was noticed by the Grammys and is now pending for many awards. But could Charli meme her way into taking an actual trophy? Well, the Grammys don't usually favor electropop in the general field, because that's normally reserved for the dance/EDM categories. They essentially gave that same treatment to her bestie Troye Sivan when he released Something to Give Each Other. But there are reasons to anticipate a win for the British pop diva. She's had work in the industry for countless years, with her first mainstream project being I Love It in 2013, which has now become a global smash. Given how much the Brat meme took off in July, and the sort of fun, confidence, and hope it provided for many listeners, I wouldn't be so quick to count it out. I can tell some people are gonna groan that Jacob Collier's Jesse Volume 4 is in this field. Some people might not even be familiar with his work at all. However, I would argue that his place in this category isn't unearned. Jacob is an immensely talented producer with a gift for finding beautiful sounds to blend together. It's almost like the subject of his music is just him admiring the medium itself. That's why his songs can totally flip-flop genres right in the middle of the run. He brings in other artists to share the passion with him, and they can range from folk to rap to punk to even gospel. The lyrics for Coolier's tracks are pretty straightforward, focusing on themes of love and intimacy, finding your way out of quarrelsome situations, and reaching for the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's mostly the way Jacob illustrates these subjects with his music that gives so much excitement. You never know what turn the record is going to take, and he makes these turns feel seamless. And the fact that he's made 3 more of these is crazy to think about. Jesse Volume 4 is worthy of a listen, even if you aren't rooting for him to win, because it shows Jacob Collier deserves to be known for more than just a producer on SZA's good days. Of course, it wouldn't be a Grammy celebration without Billie Eilish, and this time she's nominated for Hit Me Hard and Soft. The record sees Billie continuing to age and navigate her feelings as a developing adult, largely surrounding her queerness. As she keeps getting older, she finds how complicated love can be, and as we hear on the album's biggest hits, it can be rewarding, allowing you to live moments of pure joy in the short time you have as a young adult. But we also see what sort of quarrels love can lead you into. It can bring about betrayal, exhaustion, anger, emptiness, and regret. Of course, as she's done in the past, plenty of her songs here reflect on how pressuring fame can be, and how that comes with a rather disturbing price. Certain avenues on this record lead you down some very dark areas, further examining Billie's maturing psyche. It makes you eager to know if she can find a way out, and symbolically swim up to the surface again. Plenty of songs have the same timid production that Billie and Phineas are known for at this point. She also sings with the same gracefully delicate vocals that have defined her now. But much like her previous record, she experiments with rock music, albeit with a chiller sound at certain moments. One of the more gratifying aspects of Billie's artistic journey is watching her show more emotion on her records, and she knows how to be precise with it. All these ingredients make for a perfect potential win. I don't think it's a stretch to say that The Rise and Fall of a Midwestern Princess by Chaperone was the queer album of the year. The Missouri-based singer doesn't shy away from singing about her sexuality. Plenty of her songs are about her desire to hook up with an attractive, spunky woman that she can just party with and make love to all night. The absolute thrill she sings with puts you in the same jubilant spirit as her. What's also notable is the context that she sings some of these songs in. Chaperone keeps mentioning her mother and how she would disapprove of the behavior she's partaking in. However, she always tells herself that this is who she is, and all she wants is to enjoy herself. While she is known for her fun, energized anthems, she makes sure to sprinkle some ballads into the project, singing about being betrayed by her lovers. Her music style also makes her definitive. She sings with plenty of powerful synths, recreating the same classic sound that dominated the 1980s. Yet she also taps into southern rock, digging into her roots to sprout her own gay-friendly tunes. This is an album where Chaperone makes it clear what kind of fun, vulnerable, self-assured performer she is, and I think that makes her deserving of a Grammy win. America cannot get enough of Taylor Swift, and that was still clear as day when she dropped The Tortured Poets Department. This album addresses her breakups from her 2 previous lovers, those being Joe Alwyn and Matty Healy. This is easy to tell based on some of the British-inspired song titles. Taylor spends the runtime singing about how her lover went out of his way to destroy a good relationship right in front of him, and soured many of the good interactions they shared. Some of these songs take on a cosmic feel, as she says explicitly. Speaking of which, she even uses more curse words, which arguably is her displaying her feelings more honestly as an adult. The musical production is perhaps some of Taylor's sulkiest, with most of the tracks offering subdued synth beats. While the cover art might have suggested more sexual content, it's more about feeling exhausted and worn out. Though there are moments where Taylor expresses true joy and revels in how strong her new romance is, possibly alluding to number 87 himself, as well as her anger towards the media for how they've portrayed her as a witch. As for whether she can score another win, I would say it's a bit unlikely given that it lacks the self-introspection that voters probably liked with Midnight's. But we'll see. So guys, there we have it. Those are my descriptions for every single nominee of the general field in this year's Grammys. But I know what you guys are thinking. Gabriel, you've been so generous, you've been so kind, you've given every single artist plenty of compliments, but who do you think is gonna win? Well, dear viewer, I'm glad you asked. And you might be also asking, why am I holding a broom on my hand? Well, I got something special to tell you. It's because I am predicting a total and absolute sweep, courtesy of Chaperone! Yes, that is right. I am predicting that Chaperone is going to win Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist. All 4 awards come this February. I absolutely love her queerness. I love the aesthetic she puts up, like the drag-inspired look, the absolutely infectious 80s style. Like, it is absolutely fun. It's absolutely touching, and I'm just in absolute awe at how well she can put these tunes together. Honestly, like, I cannot wait to see what she will win on February 2nd, because it is going to bring the house down. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait. Trust me, guys, I can see the sweep. But honestly, guys, I thank you so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun giving my thoughts on every single nominee for the general field of the Grammys, and I hope that you were impressed by my writing style. But before I sign off, I wanted to give an important message that I think could help a lot of people. Hey guys, switching over to VoiceOver here. So one of the best resources I've found for providing aid to the people of Los Angeles is the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank. They've had a mission since 1973 to provide food and shelter for everybody living in Los Angeles who needs it. And they've especially been working tirelessly to aid the people who've been affected by the wildfires. On their website, they give out volunteer information, agency resources, and of course a donation link where you can send money to the people who need it. If you want to, you can also donate food to the victims. They have a list right here that includes peanut butter crackers, trail mix, UHT milk, and plenty of other items. It's more important than ever to donate and to inform yourself on what's truly happening in California. So thank you all for listening to this message. Again, that's very important for the people dealing with the LA fires. I know it's been devastating. I can't even begin to imagine what you've lost. But hopefully this video will sort of have a hand in helping those people. So with that, I think I'm ready to sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you had fun, and I hope that it was very informative for you. If you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. And that's where we're going to end today. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you're able to soak up those drops. Take care.